Hello, friends. I took a drive up to visit my family in Goldendale, Washington, and I had to drive up through the gorge. I know many of you have never seen it, and it's beautiful, so I thought I would share it with you on my way home. And this is driving towards the gorge, away from Goldendale, and there's all these windmills, and they're magnificent. So I thought I would show you that. And then coming over the hill, looking down, you can see across to Oregon, and it looks exactly like in an airplane looking at the land. It's just so high up and absolutely breathtaking. So just a quick reference, Goldendale is situated between Yakima and the Dalles, Oregon. It's in about an hour each way, so it's right in the middle. So this is more of the eastern side of Washington, so there's not a lot of trees, and it's really pretty desert looking and completely different from where I live, so I love to go and visit there. And I know you guys can't see it, but all along the horizon line are windmills. It's just windmills everywhere. Okay, so this is where we're actually driving along the gorge. This road is on the Washington side, and it runs right along the gorge, which is to our left. And in the foreground, a little ways away, you can see Mount Hood, which is near Portland, Oregon. And actually behind us, if I would have thought of it, I would have drove over there, is a replica Stonehenge, life-size. It's beautiful. And there's also Mary's Hill Museum, which is an actual castle along the gorge. So what exactly the canyon is here, or the gorge, is the Columbia River runs through it. And this is the canyon that the river has formed. And like I said, it borders Washington and Oregon and kind of runs through it. And it's up to 4,000 feet deep and runs over 80 miles. And it's a popular recreational area and actually holds a federally protected status as a national scenic area. And it's absolutely breathtaking to drive through. So we actually just passed an area where we could cross the river over to Biggs, Oregon, and just get on the Oregon side. But I've chose to stay on the right side and follow down through the Washington Drive. Actually, you can see a little bit here, but there's some pretty good drop-offs off the side of the road here, and it's really very high up, and if you're scared of heights, you wouldn't want to be sitting on that side of the car. So to the left, you can see there's a place to pull off the road, and all along the gorge, there's lots of scenic area pull-offs to take pictures or video or just stand there and admire the beauty of the gorge. Okay, I'd like to point out this mountain right in front of us. It's just straight up and down, and I'm always in awe of the beauty of the gorge. And there's actually lots of places where there's hiking trails, and you can actually hike up and climb these cliffs. I would never do that, but you can. It's an option. Okay, so we're actually coming up on a turnoff here soon that we could cross the river if we chose to and go into the Dalles, Oregon. And for those people who actually live in Goldendale, it's about a 45-minute drive to the Dalles, and a lot of people do their shopping there because Goldendale is a pretty small town. So I thought I would just mention real quick that we are driving on the Washington side of the Columbia River Gorge. There is a freeway that runs on the Oregon side, but it is a freeway. And this Washington side is just a little more scenic. And so I love to drive the Washington side. Okay, so we are coming up on a rest area here, and that actually has the best scenic view area. It actually goes out on a cliff over the gorge, and you get amazing pictures from that view. So I would definitely recommend that if you're ever driving through here. And I just want to add real quick, the reason I didn't stop is because I am traveling alone, and you can never be too safe, especially at rest areas these days. Okay, so as you can see, we've actually dropped in altitude enough now that we're driving right along the river at this point, and it's right to the left of us. I don't know if you've noticed the movement in my camera. That is the heat. It's pretty hot, and driving through the gorge, it's usually pretty hot in the summer. Oftentimes it's up in the triple digits. So I think it was about 90. So what you're seeing is the heat waves rising. Okay, so we've been driving for about an hour and a half, 2 hours by now, and as you can see, it's starting to get greener. The further west we get, the greener it gets, and you can see the Columbia River to our left, and we're getting closer to Hood River, Oregon, which would be across the river. And it's just beautiful. The entire drive has its own look. You're not seeing the same scenery through the whole drive. It changes as you go, and that's what makes it so beautiful. Years ago, my husband and I stayed at the most amazing little bed and breakfast on that road to the right. And I don't even remember how far up it was, but it was just the most adorable little bed and breakfast. And actually, we had said next time we go there, which has been about 7 years, we were gonna whitewater raft through white salmon, and just haven't done it yet. Now, actually, there's a couple of hot spring spas, natural hot springs that you could stay at. And yeah, if you had time, how unbelievably relaxing that would be. Okay, so like I said, we're coming up on Hood River, which would be across the river, but this stretch is actually where a lot of people windsurf, and on certain days, it's just tons of people out there windsurfing and lots of whitecaps in the water, and it's very interesting to even just park your car and watch. Something else to know if you ever drive through the Washington side of the Columbia River Gorge is you're going to drive through quite a few tunnels, and that's pretty fun. I remember driving through as a kid. My grandpa would always honk the horn as we drove through the tunnels, and I've actually drove through a couple already. I just wasn't recording. Actually, I'd like to add, if you do ever drive through here, I would say take your time. There's lots of cute little towns you drive through and so many sights to stop and look at. It's just beautiful. It just happens to be the only way to go visit my daughter and the rest of my family. So it was kind of a utilitarian drive for me, but it's so beautiful and I wanted to share it with you. Okay guys, I'm not recording the entire drive. It's about a 3-hour drive for me, and I just mostly wanted to show you the most scenic areas. So I'm going to go, and I wanted to thank you for riding along with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful view of the Columbia River Gorge. Bye-bye for now.